All right, everybody. Today's lesson talking about mean, median, mode, and range. What these four things are, the mean, median, mode, and range, are just different ways to analyze statistical data. So as you can see here, I wrote down a bunch of test scores, okay, in percent. So these are all, if you were to get a 33%, 91%, 88, 88, 75, 82, 79. We want different ways to analyze these numbers so we can make a judgment on what these scores mean. You know, if this was a class, which there are 7 people in this class because there are 7 test scores, we want to know, did this class do well? Did they not do well? Did certain people do well and others not do so well? There's just different ways to look at the information. So what we're going to do today is just go through these words, mean, median, mode, and range, and talk about what they mean. The first one is the mean, okay, and I put right here that means the average, because when you hear of an average, like a batting average in baseball, or I always say to you on our test scores, what was the class average? This is what we're doing: is we're finding the mean, okay, and the directions here say to add all the numbers together and then divide by the total amount of numbers. So if these were our test scores, this is exactly what I do when I look at your tests. I take all of your scores and I'm simply going to add all of these things together. Okay, so I'm just going to put a plus between all of these because that's what I'm doing. I'm taking 33 plus 91 plus 88 plus 88 plus 75 plus 82 plus 79, and I'm going to get a total. And when I add those things together, I get 536. And yes, I did use a calculator for that, so I know it works. And I am going to let you guys, when we're doing mean, to use a calculator. What I do expect to do, though, is I want you to show me this. Write down your numbers, show me that you're adding them together, and show me that you get this total of 536. So that's the total when I add all of the numbers together. Okay, so that's this part right here. Add all the numbers together. Okay, but then there's a second part. Now it says, and divide the total number, divide by the total amount of numbers. Okay, so now I have to take this 536 and I'm going to divide it. Okay, what am I going to divide it by? Divide. What am I going to divide it by? Well, how many numbers there are here? Okay, so this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 numbers. So that since there are 7 numbers, I now have to take 536 divided by 7. And again, I'm going to use my calculator for that. 536 divided by 7 actually gives me this. It's actually a really long decimal. It's about 76.571428. Then it keeps going. I'm going to put ... because that keeps going. Now, normally I'll probably say something like round to the nearest tenth or something like that. So what we know about rounding, if I ask you to round to the nearest tenth, that meant I'm going to keep these numbers. This 7 tells us to go up, so that becomes 76.6. So that would be the average of our test. Okay, if this was a class that had all these scores, the class average would be about a 76.6% as a class. Now, you can now make judgments on that. Is that good for the class? Does that even make sense with this? Does it make sense with these scores? Now, one might argue that it doesn't really make sense, because just about all of the numbers here, if I look at these, I don't want that color. If I look at just about all of these numbers, every single number is actually above the 76.6%. So you might say that this doesn't make sense. Okay, well, why would our mean be different than the rest of the numbers then? Well, that's because this guy right here is so very low, okay, that it actually brings down our scores. When you get a number like that, this is what we call an outlier. Okay, an outlier is a number, or maybe a couple numbers, that are just way too small compared to the rest of the numbers. Or it could be just really large compared to the other numbers. But it's a number that is so far off from the other ones that it kind of, makes our final answer off a little bit. Okay. So anyways, that's mean. I'm going to go ahead and clear the ink here for a second and just show you one more time. So to find the mean, what we simply did was we added all of these numbers together. We added them to get 536. Then we took that 536, we divided by 7, because there are 7 numbers here, divided by 7. and that gave us, when we rounded to our nearest tenth, the final answer is 76.6. So that's how we find the mean. The median. Median is the middle number when arranged from least to greatest. So again, one of the keys here, it says when arranged from least to greatest. So this is what I expect to see here. I expect you to take these numbers and order them from least to greatest. So I start with the smallest one, which is 33. So I'm just going to rewrite them. After 33 comes, well, I have a number in the 70s, so that's 75. I like to cross them off as I go so I know I don't miss any. I have a 79. We have an 82. We have an 88. We have an 88. Another 88. And then finally that last one, which is a 91. Okay, so median, the middle number when arranged from least to greatest. So now what I like to do is I start on each end and I start crossing them off. Now when I cross off a number like 33, I also have to cross off its counterpart, the 91. So I'm actually moving from the ends going in. So kind of at the same time here, I'm going to cross off the 75 and the 88. Pretty much at the same time, I just work my way in. The 79 and the 88 go together, they cross off, and finally I get an exact middle number, which we call the median. 82 is the middle number. Okay, and you can tell I have three numbers that are below the 82. I have three numbers that are above the 82. The 82 is the exact middle of the numbers. Okay, again, I'm going to clear my ink one more time here and just show you one more thing. Okay, so we order them from least to greatest again, which was 33, 75, 79, 88, 88, 91. Did I miss one there? 33, 75, 79. Oh, I missed an 82 in there. So let's back up. And we got an 82, 88, 88, and then finally to the 91. Okay, when we did this, we had an exact middle. It was 82. Let's just pretend for a second here that I added on an extra number. Let's add on the 99. Because now when I do this, what happens is I don't end up with an exact middle number. Because there are four numbers here and there are four numbers here, all right, there isn't a number that's exactly in the middle. But that's what we want to find. So basically what you're doing is you're taking these two numbers that are in the middle, right? Because there are three numbers below it, three numbers above it. I want to find what's in exactly the middle between 82 and 88. And the way we do that is go back and find the mean, which means 82 plus 88. And then that answer, which ends up equaling 170, okay? That 170 then, we're going to divide by 2. And 170 divided by 2 ends up being 85 exactly. And that should make sense. Is 85 directly in the middle between there? Absolutely. So if there end up being two numbers in the middle, all right, you have to add them together, divide by 2. The mode, the number that occurs the most. Okay, there can be one mode, two modes, or no mode. So again, I'm just going to write down our numbers one more time, which were, again, I'm going to put them least to greatest. 33, 75, 79, 82, 88, 88, and finally 91. And we're looking for which number occurs more than anything else. Okay? The 88 happens twice. It's as easy as that. 88's our mode because it happens more than anything else. Now, that's what we mean by when there's one mode, when there's exactly one number that happens more than all the rest. Okay? There also could be two modes. Now, this didn't happen in this case, but let's just pretend here that I added on another number here, 91. Well, then you could actually say it's 88 and 91. There can be two modes if that happens. And if that doesn't happen, if there's only one number of everything, that would be no mode. Let's even say here that I added on another number where we also have the 33s. Okay, well, we can't have three modes. That's not an option. We can have one mode, two modes, or no mode. In this case, we would write down no mode. Please don't write for mode, don't write 0, because that's saying the number 0 happened the most. Got to write no mode. In this case, that wasn't the case. What happened was we had one number that happened more than the rest. 88 is our mode. Okay, range, the difference of the largest number and the smallest number. One more time, I'm going to write our numbers down. We had 33, 75, 79, 82, 88, 88, and 91. So the difference between our largest number and our largest number is 81. We're subtracting our smallest number, which is 33, and we're finding the difference between them. Different means subtract. So we're going to subtract. 11 minus 3 is 8. 8 minus 3 is 5. There is a difference of 58 total points between the person who scored the best, the person that scored the lowest. That's our lesson for today. Thanks.